Good evening, good friends and fiends of Gypsy Witch Paranormal. We are here tonight, barely. I think both of us are exhausted, happy but exhausted. Um, was a long day yesterday, but it was great. It was great, and we wanted to come on a little bit and talk about the Screams by Night Con, which was yesterday. Thank everybody for coming out and supporting. It was a great turnout, pretty much kind of like last year. So we're doing good. Um, and then we'll get into a little bit of some other fun things. We did go see a movie, so we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about what we have coming up next. So you guys can get all excited for us to go explore somewhere. So, but first off, we want to talk about Screams by Night. Big shout out and a big thank you to Screams from the Basement podcast and Sam and Casey and Comics by Night John. The three of them are kind of the brainiacs behind all of this. And let me tell you what, the vibe and the people and just the general feel of the whole day kind of gave you a little bit of hope for humanity, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. So we had a great time. I spent way too much money. Michelle did very good. She was very good.
Always am.
I couldn't help myself. There were just several things there that were just talking to me, and I had to get them. I bought something from Sinful Arts and Oddities that when I took it out of the bag, I was expecting a really different. I didn't bring it up here. I should have brought it up here with me. I was expecting a different reaction from Kevin that I got. His first question was, "What is that?" And I said, "It is a skull of a mink that is put on this beautiful backdrop board with an old antique frame around it, and then it's in a glass shadow box." He goes, "Huh, it's neat."
Wow. What the heck?
Yeah, I know.
What the heck?
I thought he'd be like, "And just where do you think you're going to put that?" Right next to my Bela Lugosi picture because it fits in perfect. So yeah, we had a great time. I think people that came had a great time. It was kind of a crappy day, but South Dakota in April is always a gamble. You never know. I mean, at least it wasn't blizzarding. I mean, that's a plus. Food trucks were great. I don't know. It just was, I don't know. It gave you a little bit of like reinvigoration into the whole like spooky season and getting back into feeling like, there's people out there that appreciate it and, kind of like your tribe type of people. So it was fun. I think we had a good time and it was very well done. Tina and Marcus from Journey into the Haunted said they did better than they could have expected. So that was great news for us, because we talked him into coming, and I'm like, oh my God, if they come up here and they don't sell one thing, I'm going to feel really bad. But they did, and I think they had a good time. Met some people that, in the paranormal world that we didn't expect to meet. Hopefully might have some connections there and do some things in the future, so that's fun. Food trucks were great. Trying to think what else. Izzy was great as always. She just was airbrushing her little heart out all day and setting up meet and greets.
You're ridiculous. What Charity means by that is Charity decided to try and play matchmaker for whatever reason. I don't know what prompted her to do this, but it was quite an entertaining moment.
Yeah, it was all because I liked. If you've looked at some of the pictures that we posted from the event, there's a picture there that of a whole bunch of creepy dolls, and I took that picture under the what I was going to do with it, and I did do with it was I took the picture, sent it to Josh Hurd at Malvern, which he actually was in Omaha last night doing a gig. And I just sent a cute little text with it that said, "Hey, do you and Tori need any more creepy dolls at Malvern or Sleeper?" And the response I got back right away was, "Oh, my sweet Christ, baby Jesus, no." So I think that's a no. We did not buy any, or maybe we did. No, I'm kidding. We didn't. But there was this adorable little, he makes these things, and there are these teddy bears, and you can see them in the picture that are kind of distressed and kind of got some little bloody spots on them, but they have spider eyes. This teddy bear had like 8 eyes on it, and it was just the cutest thing ever. And I had mentioned that Izzy had this teddy bear that she made, and she kind of wears it and was, holding on to him. And I said that he really needs to be with her Teddy because he needs a friend. And this guy just rips the tags off of it, hands it to me, and he goes, "It's a gift." And I'm like, dude, you didn't know. I mean, it's a lot of work that goes into those things and everything. But so I took it all, and like I said, friendships made, who knows? But it created a conversation in between those two that may not have happened, and I'm all for it because that's kind of what this world needs right now, is a little bit of kindness and conversation and just finding people that you vibe with. And that was really what that was yesterday. It was fun.
That vendor, by the way,
six
is Crooked Harvest. In case anybody's looking,
Crooked Harvest. Yes, yes. Follow him. We've tried to follow everybody that was there. There was, gosh, oh my goodness, there was a whole bunch of people there. If you go on the Screams by Night event page, they have a picture and a listing of all of the vendors, and I think just about all of them have an online presence of some kind. Globat, I bought like 3 or 4 t-shirts off of him because they were all great, and it was just really fun to see the talent that is there. And it was, we were pretty much the only paranormal team there, which was fine with us. We just walked around and had fun the whole time, and 6.5 hours of standing pretty much. And
God. I still feel that concrete pain.
Us aged people. Man, I thought I was going to hurt today, but
I decided,
Lord willing,
to fight with a goddamn plant, so I guess that's my fault.
Yeah, you'll hurt tomorrow probably more than you do right now.
I'm hurting bad right now, so I can only imagine what tomorrow's going to feel like.
So, yeah, well, it was fun. So I was going to show you guys. This is a very special cover that John had made for the event. So I'm going to hold it up here. And this is, we were laughing about this because he just went and did this on his own. And I'll kind of tell you this is Casey, this is Sam, and these are the guys from Screams from the Basement. And then this is John, which he looks funny because I think I have the blur on my camera.
You do.
He's like, he goes, I just pulled pictures from something that you guys had, old pictures of something. And Sam goes, "What? Where did I ever look like this?" And I'm like, I think that was when you guys were at the State for a movie. So really cool program. There's even a really cool special comic that Ken Creamer. It's just, the artwork is spectacular. And then of course here's all of our sponsors, and there we are on the back. So yeah, fun stuff. Already looking forward to next year. So if anybody out there is close to the area, keep an eye out for when the guys post for vendors. I don't know. We did not do speakers this year, which turned out pretty good because the place where we were at, the acoustics in there for having a speaker is just, and the social's great. It was a great venue, but it's just hard to have speakers in there because it's so open and everybody's talking and carrying on and everything. So, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know where it's going to be. I think it's going to be at a different location. That's kind of the thing we were getting just because we need a bigger space. But who knows? Maybe we'll stick with there and have it there again. But everything worked out great. I don't think there's anything else that we should talk about Screams by Night. All the money raised went to the Transformation Project, South Dakota. The girls that were there last year that were dressed up. One is Mothman, and I can't remember. The other one was like an anime character. I'm not good with anime characters, so. But I was hoping they would be there again because they were a lot of fun. But, good cause to be raising money for, especially right now. So, but that's about it. I can't think of anything else. Can you think of anything else we want to talk about? Lots of horror stuff.
Lots of horror stuff. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
primary focus for it. It's halfway to Halloween.
Yep.
So if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted stuff with Art the Clown on it, there was plenty of Art the Clown stuff all over the place. There was this
Oh, oh my
Three
gosh.
Ports is the name of
Yep.
the woman who made it. Absolutely, like, the amount of work she put into this, amazing Art the Clown sun catcher with the
Oh
flower
yeah.
glasses. So like the classic Art the
Yeah.
Clown.
And I mean, it was
It
like
was big.
this
Yeah.
big. It was big, big. And I can't believe no one bought it. I mean, I was like, I really hope that's gone but towards the end of the night, but I was good.
Sure.
Maybe I'll tell my mom that put that on my
There
Christmas
you
list.
go. But yeah,
I could see her going to buy that going, what is this?
no, but it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of great vendors there, and just like-minded people, and seeing people like come in dressed up is also really fun and exciting to
Oh
see.
yeah.
We had a
Yeah.
grandma
Oh, I
with
was
scissors in
yes.
her head, and like her dismembered arm. It was great there, and with her grandkid, and it was
Yeah.
amazing.
She was fantastic. And I found out, I should have known this when they came in, but I did find out there was three people walking around. They were all kind of dressed very like Halloweenish and everything. And it was an older lady, and she had on this amazing
Oh my God, the
cardigan, like
sweater.
old school, very like Halloween colors, like the purple, orange, and black, real bright stuff. Found out who that was. That is the lady that owns Grandma Lou's Halloween haunt here in
Oh,
town.
that's
So,
amazing.
yeah, so she was there, and I'm like, well, that makes perfect sense now because they posted the picture of the three of them, and I'm like, that makes sense.
It was such a great sweater. I love that. It was like classic ugly Christmas sweater, but just with ghosts and bats
Oh,
and pumpkins.
100%.
It was super
Yep.
cool.
It was so much fun. It was really fun. I mean, I'm still kind of like jazzed over it just because, you know, we'll get into a little bit more about. There was a couple people there. Lewis was there, and first time meeting him, and he has worked a lot with Josh and knows a lot of people, and kind of got into conversations about, in general, how we're a lot of people in the paranormal that aren't in it for, clicks and likes and making money off YouTube and shit like that. Um, People kind of feeling discouraged about the state of things, and you know, you get two people that put an app on their phone and don't put any research and don't put any time into it, and all they do is rent a building and run around screaming that there's demons, and they're getting famous or popular, I should say, on YouTube just because they do fake scares or run around and act stupid. And it's disheartening to the people that care about the industry, care about the properties that some of these people are being very respectful to. It's just, it's a little just off-putting and everything. And actually, today, Sherry DiBenedetti from Ghost Hunters has a huge post out on Facebook if anybody wants to go read that. And it's talking about that exact same thing and how a lot of these groups are going in and putting groups down that have been doing this for, 30, 40 years. I mean, you look at He Who Shall Not Be Named and Jason and even Grant from Ghost Hunters. I mean, these you're talking about guys that have been doing this a very long time. Go back and watch some of those first episodes. You'll realize how young everybody was when they started and how it just wasn't a big thing. And to start making fun of them or, just being disrespectful, it's disheartening. But after talking about it and realizing that, out of all these people, oh my gosh, you find this one person that has the exact same mentality and they love this and everything. It gives you a little bit of inspiration and hope, and you go, okay, maybe we can keep doing this, because trust me, Michelle and I have had those conversations where we've just been very disillusioned with things.
Well, and I think this brings in a kind of really important insight, or at least I had seen someone, um, and this applies to a lot of things in the world nowadays, but it was a woman who, has been doing psychic readings for people for many, 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 many years, decades at this point. Um, and she had made the comment to the effect of, we're running into a society where there's a lot of people that are getting a glimmer or a glimpse. They're getting some sort of thing that happens that awakens them or brings their attention. And instead of taking a responsibility for that gift and what it's capable of and what it does, they're just jumping straight into, how do I make money off of it? And what
Yep.
happens is that when you're in that sort of realm, you have a very, I will always feel this way, you have a very strong responsibility for making sure that you're not telling people something that may or may not be true. And the reason is because people who go to psychics or talk to psychics or ask for advice from psychics, they're investing a lot of their time, their energy, how their
Hmm.
life trajectory goes, simply by hearing somebody that they trust and believe is psychic. And it's not to say that these people don't have the abilities, it's just psychics who actually spend a lot of time doing this, they spend years and years and years and years of learning, getting information, being wrong sometimes, and kind of figuring out what the difference is
Yeah.
with the messages that you get, because it's not always one. And I think this can also apply to just paranormal investigating as a whole. You've got these people who have been doing this for years and years and years, and the people that have been doing it for a long time, oftentimes they are putting the science behind it. They intentionally did. They intentionally looked for the science behind it because they wanted to explain what was unexplainable, and sometimes it's not explainable. And I think for some of these younger groups, it's about the sensationalism, and everybody's trying to get a quick buck, and
Yeah.
everybody's trying to find a job that they can do where they don't have to go to a 9 to 5 every day. And a lot of the younger generation, that is kind of their goal. That's their objective. They want to be famous online. They want to be an influencer. They want this recognition without paying respects to the people who stepped in first and started all of this. And those are the people
Yeah.
that you should really want to follow and listen to and learn from
Hmm.
and watch, because there, it's not to say that you don't identify or see something that might be different from what these individuals have seen or identified, but it's to say that you're giving respect to what they have discovered or learned throughout time that you could also learn from. We can always learn. I've never
Yep. Oh yeah.
walked into any environment or any space or any job and thought that I know something better than everybody else. Heck no. I can always learn something from somebody else. I don't know all the stories of these haunted locations. I don't know all the
Yeah.
science
Yeah.
behind the paranormal stuff. I don't know all of that because that I just don't. But there are a lot of people who spend a lot of time studying and researching and getting to learn these things. And there are some people where anything with paranormal science related is their entire career. That's
Yeah.
everything they've done. They've actually gone to school for this. You can get degrees and stuff like this. And the people
Mm-hmm.
that put the energy into that, they spend a long time basically proving stuff wrong again and again until it makes sense or until it looks a way where they're like, okay, now I can't prove it wrong anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. You're 100% right. And the responsibility that goes along, like we've been asked several times if we do residential investigations, and we shy away from it just strictly for those reasons, because a lot of people that are to the point where they want to call someone into their home that they don't know and are willing to do that are kind of in a desperate state.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never feel comfortable doing something like that and feeling like I'm taking advantage of someone by, telling them this, or if they take something we say as, 100% gold and we might be wrong. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's, I just, and locations, the other big thing was talking about the only people that really truly know a location are the good location owners, the people like the Josh Herds and like the Tori Westoffs and Steph O'Reilly, and those people that have been there and they've invested the time and they know things. But I guarantee you, even if you ask any of them, if they know everything about what's going on in their buildings, they're going to say no. I mean, we've had spirits come and talk to us that Josh has never heard of. Old Tom the farmer, he'd never showed up, and all of a sudden there he is talking to Michelle. I mean, and we tell him about it, and he's like, "Oh wow!" And but then we find him in the book
Mm-hmm.
that there was a Tom that I, you just don't know. And I love seeing people get into this industry that are passionate. I just it's it's kind of like, I hate to bring this up here, but it's kind of like politics. Like you see somebody that you really like in politics and you think, man, this person's great. They're going to come in and they're going to change everything. And they've got all these great ideas. And then they get in there and go, oh, I can make money,
Mm-hmm.
or I can do this and I can make money, or I can, get more popular by doing this. And so they just change everything. And you go, what happened? What happened to that person's integrity or that person's values? And it's kind of the same type of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I got a little bit more reinvigorated from all the talk yesterday and just kind of talking to people. It was really, really good to see Tina and Marcus. Miss them.
Yes.
It's been a while. Been a while. They've been very busy. Got a lot of stuff going on. Like all of us, they have jobs and other hobbies and everything. So it takes a lot of time, and we got to make time for things that mean something to us. And that's, kind of what I got out of yesterday a little bit, other than just almost losing my voice last night from talking all day.
By the way, I
So,
apologize for
yeah.
looking to the side. I've got a cat from hell that I swear to God, that's where this cat came from. But he's just all over the place. And if you see me shifting, it's because
Oh,
I can't
Alistair.
feel my body right now.
I think you're in worse shape than I am with my back. I thought
Yeah,
I was going to be dead today,
pretty
but
much.
I,
That's because I went and
oh
did yard
man.
work afterwards like an idiot. I spent today
Yeah.
doing yard work.
Yeah. I took a 2 hour nap with my
There
cat.
you go.
I didn't expect to take a 2 hour nap. You kind of lay down and you're like, oh, just, take a quick nap while the Twins game's on. And next thing I know, I wake up and I'm totally out because Ivy is stretched across me. And when you have a sleeping cat or a sleeping animal on you,
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but man, they just put you out. They're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, well, this is comfortable.
Oh yeah.
And you can't move because Lord knows you don't want to move them.
Feel
So, yeah.
guilty.
100%. Because then it's like, well, she doesn't do this all that often, so I'm just going to let her stay here, even though I'm in pain and I have to go to the bathroom and I need a drink and all these things. I'm just going to sit here for the next 2 hours and die. But yeah, so that was something we did this weekend. Had a good time. The other thing, we'll just do this quick because this is not our forte. We don't want to get into movie reviews. That's
No,
Sam
but
and
we
Casey
need to
can.
talk about this movie.
We do need to talk about this movie. So to preface this, we have like different groups of friends. We have one group of friends that will go see movies like we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine, and we had like a whole row, and it was hilarious, and everybody loved it. We have another group of friends that we can only ask to go, like it's a core group that will go see scary stuff. And it's Kevin, my husband, Michelle, and sometimes if Phil's here, Phil will go, of course. Our friend Danny and our friend Jason, who bailed on us and didn't show. But we always go see like the scary movies that come out, the newer ones. And we debated about it and debated about it and debated about going to see this because, when you call something The Mummy, you think, oh, it's going to be a mummy movie. I'm grateful that before going into this movie, we waited a little bit after it had come out, so there was enough reviews out and everything that said, no, this.
Nope.
It's what did we call it? Well, we found out as we were going to the movie that it definitely, it's Lee Cronin, so it's definitely in the Evil Dead universe. So if you go into that movie expecting it to be very, like the other mummy movies, very Egyptian based and very mummy type things, it's not. It is totally different.
The
acting was fine.
The
story was fine.
Yeah, the way I want to describe this is an Egyptian demon. That's the Egyptian exorcism. If you want to go that route, this is literally what this was.
Yeah. I kind of felt like it was a little bit of like the Evil Dead plus the Exorcist with a little bit of an Egyptian folklore thrown in there. And I'm going to probably get hated on by this, but I'm not a huge Evil Dead fan. I will watch them. I don't have anything against them, but everybody talks about, they're very gory, usually. And this one was no exception to that. And the bad thing about it was now some people are going to have a different opinion. Some people are going to think that the gore got comical. I did not. The only part that I found comical was the teeth thing, the grandma's teeth thing.
Yeah.
That was hysterical. Everything else was just, I can't tell you how many times Michelle and I were either had our like this, and just.
I also need to preface this with, I am a massive, massive Saw movie fan. So if a movie can make me cringe in my seat, it's some rough stuff. I don't do fingernails. I don't do toenails. I don't do teeth. I don't do any of that. In fact, the Saw movies, anything that have...
And of course it had all of those.
The Saw movies that have involved teeth, like, I've about lost my mind. And as someone whose boyfriend is obsessed with Art the Clown, that movie makes me cringe God knows how much. The fact that this movie did the exact same thing, just... I was a little startled. I was like, wow, I'm really being affected by this.
It's kind of like you're sitting there watching it and you're going, why are we watching? Why are we putting ourselves why are we continuing to do this? But it was a decent story. of course, the very first thing I do as soon as I get home is I start trying to research and see if it is based on any real Egyptian folklore, and it's not at all. They kind of a very, very thin correlation to Amet, but not in a very like structured way. A lot of the Egyptian gods and goddesses, you can kind of weave them into just about everything because they were in everything and they were part of everything. So, but this one was a nasty one. This one was
Well, and
it was a
I thought it was interesting that they talked about an Egyptian demon because I have been obsessed with Egypt since I was little.
mhm,
And for a while there, it fell off, kind of going back to it. But there's not a whole lot of stuff in Egyptian history as it relates to anything demonic, and that's because gods and goddesses
mhm,
controlled spaces. So you
yeah,
would believe that a god or a goddess that controlled a space, especially if you were, paying homage to them, you were giving offerings to them, you had altars to them, that kind of stuff you probably wouldn't see because of how they
yeah,
worked. And I mean, you've got your Egyptian deities that are supposed to be, full of light and harvest. You got Egyptian deities like Ra, and then you've got your Egyptian deities that spend their time in the underworld. That's Anubis. And so
mhm,
it was interesting to me, like the concept of an Egyptian demon, because I was like,
yeah,
that's a very very
yeah,
odd combination. That's why I was like, it's the Egyptian exorcist.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, the acting was good. The makeup
Hmm.
effects for the little girl for Kate were
Hmm. Hmm.
fantastic. I mean, and I had heard Kevin research a little bit, and he said that they had to film. There's a scene in there. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, there's a scene in there where, they get this little girl home and she's a just total physical wreck.
Hmm.
Mental too, but physical wreck. And her mother is trying to, clean her up and make her look a little bit more presentable, which doesn't work.
Hmm.
And trying to cut her the scene where
Oh
they're cutting the
God.
toenails, which is the very first
Oh
one
God.
that got both of us like it was bad. It was really bad. They had to film that scene like 60 different times. And to the point where the actresses, so the grandma and the mom and the girl that plays Katie, were like gagging in real life because it just was getting to be too
I'll
much.
tell you what, that
So,
part was terrible, but what they found her doing in the bathroom after that, like I felt my stomach like
oh,
drop out of my body with that. That
yeah,
was awful.
there's, it was 100% entertaining.
Hmm.
If you like, I mean, it's
Yep.
good. Um, if you like those kind of movies, you'll like it. If you do not like gory horror movies, you will not like it. It's a hard watch for people that really have a sensitivity to, I would say, okay, body
Yeah.
horror type of stuff. It's a hard watch. Um, for me, it was great because no animals got. I mean, I can watch that stuff, but you start anything with an animal, I'm out. And
Yep.
yeah, at the very beginning, there was one that I did not care for, but it was just kind of over the top. So I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we should have known. We should have known better.
But if you're an Art the Clown fan, you like that kind of horror, this is probably something you'll
Oh yeah.
enjoy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Evil Dead fan, definitely.
Yep.
You will definitely like this. There's a lot of good horror flicks coming out. The next one that's coming out that I am very excited about, and I've heard some pre-reviews from some of the like here we go talking about people making money on Instagram, but the people that review horror stuff on Instagram, I watch them religiously when new movies come out just to get a take. And so far, the new movie that is coming out from Neon with Adam Scott. in it called Hokum is getting some major good reviews. It's the same director that did Oddity and Caveat. And Kevin and I, but we loved Oddity. Oddity was a weird movie, but it was really good. It had a lot of that sense of building dread that is just so good in some of these horror movies. And it takes place in like, I think it's Scotland or Ireland in this little bitty village town. And, it just has all the aesthetics of like an old school type of horror movie that's, I think will be fun. So that one comes out May 1st. So we'll probably go see that. We're like the Tuesday night movie crew at Cinemark because it's $5. And we go see movies on Tuesday night and there's nobody else in the theater.
Yeah.
No one. So we have a good time and we go see the horror movie. The horror movie crew goes out. But yeah, it was, I don't know, out of a 10, 7,
I was gonna say, I could give it
maybe?
a solid 7.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't give it any higher than that strictly because the storyline was just a little I like they could have done a little bit better
Yeah.
with some of the explanation on the storyline
Yeah.
with it. But yeah, just the whole thing of like losing a kid
Yeah.
in the middle of a foreign country and not know, I mean that right there is frickin' every parent's nightmare. I mean, and not knowing for 8 years where she's at, I just I can't even imagine.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that dread. There's a lot of that, parental guilt because it happened when dad was home, and of course, mom blames dad. So then there's this conflict there. So I mean, the character development was fairly well done, fairly well done. So, but yeah, when the kids start turning against the parents,
Yeah.
it's something.
It is.
So go see it if you want to go. Go see it if you want to go see it. If you like that kind of stuff, definitely would recommend. It's entertaining. Or wait till it comes on streaming and watch it at home because then you can just fast forward through the really bad parts. That's like the first movie I think we ate a whole bag of popcorn. Like
That's
Kevin and I ate a whole
hilarious.
medium bag of popcorn because you're so tense. You're just doing
That's
this. Yeah,
hilarious.
drank the whole pop, everything. So Lee Cronin's the mummy, solid kind of 7. We'll have to ask Sam and Casey what they think of it if they go see it, because I always like to hear their opinion on things, and I like to see them do their top 10 movie things. It's hilarious to me, but they're great. They, like I said, Screams from the Basement podcast, they're great. Comics by Night podcast, and we also found out that John's husband, Ken, has a podcast that I've been watching his Instagram videos. And if you are a Stephen King fan, this dude is your man. Like, he is a Stephen King A1 geek. He came in there dressed in a cardigan sweater that looked like the Stanley Motel, the floor. I mean, but he does a really cool show called 60 Seconds of Steven. And that's literally all it is. It's a really short video, and he does little like snippets and trivia and talks about different things about the whole Stephen King universe, which is enormous. So yeah, all those guys have some really great stuff coming out. So that's like the first half an hour or so of the podcast, and the second part is what's coming up. And we finally are going to get to go investigate somewhere. The weekend of Mother's Day, sorry, Mom. We are going to be in St. Joseph, Missouri. And we've worked with the St. Joe Museum, the Historical Museum Society, before. We've gone to Glore before with Journey into the Haunted, and I had reached out to them again and said, we'd really like to come for the day kind of and do like a dual thing. And the city, again, here's a city that owns these historical buildings that they love the fact that they're haunted. They love the fact that people are interested in it and they want to come see it. So, it's another river town, so it's kind of like Atchison. I'm thinking, is it like an hour and a half from Atchison?
I think so.
I know we drove it, but it's kind of around that. So, you could make a really good like Friday, Saturday, Sunday of going to both of those places in a weekend and really have a lot of fun and really see a lot of really cool haunted places and just this architecture and the buildings and oh my gosh, it's just
Awesome.
it's outstanding. So we are going to go back and I'll probably just mostly talk about Glore because we've never been to Wyeth Tootle. So we're going to the Wyeth Tootle mansion, and I think that one was built in like 1897. And the thing that stands out about that building from what I've seen is that it is built out of like a sandstone. So it is like a very bright tannish white. And it sits up on a hill. It kind of overlooks the city. And I mean, they have tons of events there. They do weddings there. They've done like really big car shows there. So we get that place for 3 hours by ourselves. We'll get to wander about. I'm sure Jared will, the guy that runs the paranormal tours and everything, he'll probably hang out with us unless he goes and sits outside because we stir things up too much and he doesn't appreciate it. So we do that one first, and then we go to Glore. And tell a little bit about Glore. It all begins in 1874. So it opened as a state lunatic asylum number 2, okay, in St. Joseph, Missouri. And it was built like the actual original place looked like a castle, kind of a fortress type look, which makes a lot of sense because back then, people with mental illness, people that just weren't, I could do air quotes, normal, they were put in there like they were just being locked away. Mental illness has come a long way, but there were still a lot of things that went on there. It opened, and I think originally when it opened, it had like 250 patients, but by the time it was like in the 50s, it was like over 3,000. So there was a lot of people there. In 1899, they renamed it from number 2 to the St. Joseph State Hospital, and they called themselves a mental treatment facility. And when you say those words, just all the visions of, as a paranormal investigator, when you hear a psychiatric anything or a state hospital anything, you know what's coming. You know what is going to happen with the history of a place. But in the 1990s, the original buildings were repurposed into a prison. So you have all of this death and mistreatment and regular treatment. Now, I'm not going to say that everything that was going on there was bad. Some of the very original mental health treatments did move into things that did help people with mental illness. I mean, some of this stuff, it's horrible, but I feel like, some of these things had to happen to get to where we are today, as horrible as that sounds. Now, the actual mistreatment of people that you see that was done in a lot of these facilities is unacceptable. You talk about, giving people lobotomies is one thing, but leaving people to starve and sit in a cell and, just waste away to nothing. That's a totally different, that's not treating anything, that's just abuse. So, and we don't 100% know that that's what was going on there, but in any facility like that, you're going to have some issues. It's going to happen. So the building that Glore is next to is right behind them is the prison. And it's a really cool building because it's 4 floors. The very top floor of Glore is really cool because it kind of gets away from the actual psychiatric part of it and it goes into like all these. There's a doll museum, there's the African American History Museum, and then there's like an archaeology and Native American part of the museum. Really cool up there. But the other floors, there are what gave it its name as Glore was a man that worked there for like 30, 40 years. He wanted to make sure that people understood the process and how mental health was being treated. So he started building replicas of what was used back in the day for some of these treatments. And they started collecting artwork from patients, which there's a whole bunch of artwork in there, which is some of it's really cool. Some of it will freak you the out. I mean, it is weird stuff. But so that's why it was named Glore. It was named after him. He was the first curator, and the first part of the museum was actually in the hospital in a wing. And then when the hospital eventually shut down and they built the hospital across the street, they moved everything into this building. And he has created replicas of, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think what all is there. There's the lunatic box, there's the hot box, the restraint cage, there's a chair that they put you in to like hold you down, and there's a whole lot of weird stuff in there.
There's the witch trial.
Oh, yes, and they have a replica of what they used to do to people that, people don't understand. Back in that time, during the witch trials, they just were basically burning people for being different or for, hey, this person might have a touch of autism or might have, oh, you're a witch, so we're going to burn you. So they literally put a thing up in respect for those people that got burned at the stake for being different.
Well, remember a lot of witch trials too were women who were herbalists, which if you want to go down the route, that is the original pharmacists. But because they use stuff that men didn't use, because they used things that people were unfamiliar with, different types of plants, they were able to, heal injuries. That was magic. That was witchcraft. That wasn't just using what nature provided.
Right. And, they felt the same. Look what we did to most of the Native American cultures. I mean, those people used herbs and plants and the earth to heal long before anybody, but it was looked at as bad. And it just kind of continued that way. It's really bizarre to me, but yeah, it's the way the world is. People, if somebody doesn't understand something, it's bad and it's wrong, and that's kind of what they got from that. But yeah, they also have in the museum, I think it's on the second floor. I'm trying to think how my brain is working going through there. The second floor is the one that has the weird hallway. You kind of go out this way, and then you get to see a lobotomy chair. A real one, where they actually, and all the instruments and the tools that they used to use are sitting out. I mean, you can see all of this stuff. Gosh, what else was there? There's lobotomy. Oh, the electrotherapy, the shock treatment room. That's there. And all of this stuff is like all real, either replicas or it's original stuff that was used at the original State Hospital number 2. So you got to think, if anything's going to be charged with some energy, it's going to be things that caused pain and chaos and just anguish. And, did some of those things help back then? I'm not a doctor. I can't say. But like I said, I still think that maybe some of those things had to happen to evolve into some of the treatments that we have today. I mean, shit, there's still think there's still people that still do electroshock, like minor electroshock, like treatments for Parkinson's and things like that. I mean, my uncle had a shocking thing put in his head. So it's like, would they have known to do that kind of a procedure if they hadn't done these other procedures, very far in the past? I don't think it's a normal thing. I don't think people get lobotomized today. Maybe they do. I don't know.
The only thing that sucks about this is that it was marginalized people that couldn't protest to this. Like, it would have been different.
Oh, yeah.
If it was somebody who wanted an experimental treatment or something like that. But most women were lobotomized because they talked back to their husbands. And so they were considered insane or crazy because they wouldn't listen. And so they were lobotomized to make them obedient. And behave appropriately.
Yeah.
And
and Lord help you if you had a kid that had, was autistic or had Down. I mean, because all of these things existed back then. They just tend to have gotten more prominent nowadays. But if they just didn't want to deal with them, they just take them and drop them off at these places.
And there's also a morgue at Glore.
Oh yes, the morgue.
You can check out a morgue in the dark, which is a very odd experience. Last time we were there, they've got a barrier up so that people don't go over it, and I had really heavily debated on going in one of the drawers, although I don't want to do it, but at the same time was morbidly curious. And then when we talked to the guy who was running the museum later on in the day,
he's like,
you could have gone in there.
Go ahead.
So Michelle's gonna go in there this time. I don't know why.
We gotta put the littlest one in there.
But the fourth floor of the museum is very, very active. It is an odd space to be in.
Yeah.
You'd think the morgue would have more activity. It doesn't. It's primarily the fourth floor. And the fourth floor, when we were there with Tina and Marcus, it's got big, heavy double doors, big push bar doors, emergency exit doors. We're all sitting on the floor. We could hear the sound of a door opening and footsteps coming down the hallway. And none of us really thought about it. We thought, maybe he was coming to check on us.
Jared was coming to check on us, yeah.
And we walk over, and I was like, that door's been shut this whole time. And we heard footsteps down the hallway, and we actually went to go ask him, and he's like, no, I wasn't anywhere up there. So.
Yeah. It's a very interesting place. I can see going during the day just to walk around and read everything. And they've done a wonderful job at preserving the history that goes on there. But yeah, the morgue is interesting.
Isn't there a cemetery?
That was the first place that it's not far from there. Yeah. Yep, there is. And then of course you have the tunnels.
Oh God.
That, so there was a lot of them apparently at the time that ran, and preface this with, back in the day, that's how they moved things, in between buildings. They had tunnels. Everybody did. You look at places like, was it Trans-Allegheny and Waverly and the body chutes and all that stuff, that it just was the way things were done. And this place had them. The building that's next door to the museum, which is the original old part of the building, it is condemned. The city has not done anything with it. They want them to do something with it because there are branches of the tunnels that run that way. And unfortunately, what happens when you have a rundown building that you can get into, they think they lock the doors, but they ain't locking anybody out. You get people down there. And so they've had to seal up some of the tunnels that run down there because of that reason. It's not because of ghosts being naughty or demons attacking anyone. It's because of real flesh and blood people causing problems. So we have said this so many times. The people that go out and do the more urban exploring ghost hunting, where they're going to places that you don't really pay to go there. That's terrifying. I mean, I would be really fun. It would be really interesting, but Charity's going to be packing because I mean, we've seen it on shows. If anybody watches Project Fear, I mean, they had an instance at a place where they knew as they were filming that there were people in the building and they were chasing them up and down. Like they'd go upstairs, they go downstairs, and they were terrified, more terrified than any ghost or a spirit trying to talk to them. It's when you start getting human people and you don't know what their intentions are. No, thank you. So yeah, they shut that down, but they're not open to the public. I don't know if they do it for like a normal tour, if you pay for a normal tour, but I know the paranormal tours, they let you go across. You have to walk out of the building, walk across the street, and go into the tunnel. And the tunnel also, the end of the tunnel that you can go into to the far back, backs up to the state prison. Like if you put your hand on the wall, you're putting your hand on the wall of the prison. So it's creepy. We had a really weird, we were just talking about it yesterday with Tina and Marcus because people started finding out that there was paranormal teams there and they were coming over to talk about, oh, have you guys been here? Have you guys done that? And brought up Glore. And we had a new piece of equipment that Marcus had. And it was a burst recorder. And you could, like Tina said, did anybody hear, like you were talking and asking a question? And she's like, I just thought I heard a breath. And played back the burst recorder. And sure as shit, there is like a very, and on the recorder, and none of us did it because Tina was sitting kind of by herself, and then Marcus was probably a good, I don't know, maybe 5-6 feet away from her, and then I was probably 5-6 feet away from her that way, and you were all the way in the back. So we were all separated out. There's no way that we could have noise contaminated that. And then it just started getting dark in there. It got dark.
It was interesting too because I kept looking towards like the door that you come in to go into the tunnel because everybody else is further down. And I kept saying, it looks really dark down there. It looks really, really dark. And at one point I was looking down at my feet and I remember being like, it is dark. Like it is dark.
Yeah.
Dark. And we've got red lights on. We've got equipment with lights on.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no reason that it should be that dark. And I remember I was like, does anybody else think it's dark in here? And everybody's like, no, it's fine. And about 5 minutes later, they went, wow, it got really dark in here. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. It was literally like an ink blot, kind of like just spreading and traveling. It was the weirdest thing. It was very strange. And, when we went there the first time, we didn't get a whole lot of stuff. But I mean, it was fun. It was a great place. I'm definitely excited to go back. I mean, it's going to be different this time. I think that was the first time we'd been in a place like that had that kind of background to it. We haven't really been to we've never been to Waverly or Trans-Allegheny. And fun piece of information, the Glore Museum, they have different displays on that first floor past the gift shop. Their whole display up until the end of May is Trans-Allegheny pictures.
Oh, that is nuts.
Uh-huh.
Well, and that's just it. Michelle doesn't like psychiatric museums. I don't think
anybody does.
I don't like psychiatric hospitals. There's something really unsettling about a psychiatric hospital. I can't even imagine what the prisoners encounter being in the original psychiatric hospital building. Like, I can't imagine what happens over there.
Well, and Jared had said they have prison guards that will come over and be like, they're talking about hearing things in the hallways and just all kinds of weird stuff. So so you've got all this like energy from what happened with patients in the psychiatric part of it, and now you've got all this energy over here from the prison kind of doing this collision course. And So it kind of makes you think that those tunnels are like almost maybe like a I don't want to call it a portal, but maybe like a vortex of energy where like those two things meet and then
It could be.
disperse and
It could be.
kind of go their separate ways type of a thing.
Hmm.
But yeah. So that's where we're going. We are going to there and we are staying in an old ass historic Airbnb because we always try to. I'd have to pull it up on my phone, but I'm pretty sure this one was built in 1910,
I am not
1908.
sleeping in the attic room this time.
It's not that house, but I will tell you, if it was just us going again, that house was available to rent
Oh,
again. And I was
Lord.
like, but the bathroom situation at that house was a little bit
Oh, yeah,
awkward.
it was. It was.
That was the one where the bathroom was like just like an afterthought off the dining room
And
area
was
with barely a door.
that was the one where the shower was weird upstairs too, where it was like this weird
Yeah.
like part of it was glass block and the other was like two shower
Uh-huh.
curtains or something.
Yeah, it was interesting. Um, Old house, and again, most of the houses in that area are old. I mean, it is an old river town. Um, so we'll be going up on Friday. I'm gonna
You're
sneeze.
nasty.
Sorry. Um, so we'll go up on Friday, hang out Friday night there, and then Saturday, probably go meander around a little bit and go check out some stuff, and then head to Wyeth Tootle and have some fun there. And maybe it's going to be a 3-year. And then we go to Glore at 8 and we're there till midnight, 1 o'clock. And then we'll come back on Sunday for Mother's Day. So my mom doesn't disown me.
So my mom also doesn't disown me. Who's coming into town?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. She's going to be
Yep.
here. She's taking care of the
She
boys.
is.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, so that's what we've got going on. We will definitely, we should be doing a podcast that Sunday when we get back. We'll see how that flies if we're too exhausted or paranormal hangovered out to record, but we'll try.
Maybe
We will try.
should. Well, we will go live on Facebook. We try to do that as much as
Oh,
possible.
definitely.
when we're
Yes,
at
definitely.
Tootle and Glore, and we'll be joined by our friends Phil and Renee. So we're excited to see
Yep.
them. And we're gonna have 2 other people,
Yep.
hopefully join us as well. So
Yep. Yep. We've extended an invitation to Melissa and her sister Wendy and Steph O'Reilly from the McIntyre Villa. Those 3 girls are hysterical and they're always going and investigating places. And we thought, they're right there. They're in that area. I think Wendy and Melissa are Kansas City-ish area. So not a bad drive for them to come up. And then if we can drag Steph up there and get her away from everything going on at the villa, we'll give her a little bit of a weekend away.
Yep.
But they're also good investigators.
Yeah.
They love to have fun, which we do too. But they also take it seriously. So we extended the offer to Tina and Marcus, but they've got a lot of stuff going on in May. So, yeah, they really do. But I told them, I said, even if it's last minute and you go, you know what, let's just drive. Just come on up. So you never know who might be with us.
Yeah, exactly.
When we go live, it could be a total surprise what happens. But we are still... we're still going to do our little giveaway in August if we can get some more followers. And I'll preface it to say, because, at the beginning I said something about, they just do it for likes and follows. It is a big deal for us to have followers on Facebook or to have people like our content on Spotify, strictly because we want people to enjoy the things that we enjoy. We like to share our passion. We like to share our experiences. We just like talking to people about stuff. I mean, that's all we did yesterday was just talk to people. And it was just, it's almost cathartic.
Yeah.
It's cathartic for us to sit and talk and just kind of talk and have fun and see if people will feel the same way we do about different things. And we don't want people to always feel the same way. I mean, that's why we're human. We all feel differently and everybody's got different opinions. But, we like to get there just because a lot of the paranormal is about connections. And you just don't know. Like, we had no idea we were going to run into people yesterday that now we have a connection with that, they've done a lot of work with Josh at Malvern. They've done some work at Velisca. They've done, didn't know them.
Yep.
And now we do.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Like, we just have those other people now that we can reach out to and ask questions or, hey, do you want to come meet us and go do something? It's just, that's the type of thing we like. And we love having our followers that are out there that have been following us forever and supporting us. God bless you guys. We started out with not a whole lot. I think Jackie Hansen was probably our first follower on Facebook, and she is still there. She's probably one of the first. I think she's one of the first people that got a Gypsy Witch paranormal coffee mug, and I think she still has it. So, yeah, thank you, Jackie.
And my friend Casey
we just
in California, who is moving to Maryland.
Yes.
Thank you, Casey.
Yes. Yep. She was the first one to order shirts from us online, and
she still orders stuff.
I know. It's just great. And that's another thing. We have stuff on our website, on our store. You order it direct, it gets printed and shipped right to you. It doesn't come from us. We don't have a lot of inventory. We have some stuff here that we take to cons with us that we pretty much just give away. We do have shirts here, but we found that it's kind of not a lucrative thing to really have on hand and takes up a lot of space. So we do some of the little things, our stickers and everything. We are so proud of our logo and we love our logo so much that we like handing stickers out and things like that to have our logo on them. So yeah, go there, find some stuff. We've got everything. So it's really been fun getting this going. It's been fun doing a little bit more on social media. We're trying to keep you guys engaged and involved. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, you shoot us a message or
let us know.
Reach out. We'd love to share any knowledge that we have, or if you have questions about anything. Most of these podcasts are going to be pretty informal like this for a while, and maybe we'll do something a little bit more. We have been offered the chance to go sit in an actual place where they do podcast recording and do one, but then I feel like I have to have a podcast voice and I have to say things very dramatically. Maybe we can get
Phil offered to do an intro for us.
Phil needs to do an intro for us because he's got that voice he's got the Dave Schrader radio voice that can really, in a world where there are things. No, I'm not going to do it.
Not
going to do it.
Don't go there.
Not going to do it. God bless him. I'm not going to do it. So that's really about it. Unless you've got anything else you want to talk about.
No, look at us. We're doing pretty good. It's like 8 minutes over. Listen,
8 minutes after an hour.
This is a big accomplishment for us. So everybody might think this is funny, but seriously.
Oh yeah. I mean, the squirrel gene is very prominent in both of us. Very prominent. Yes. I mean, the bad thing is I live with a guy that's also that way. So half the time, if the three of us are anywhere having a conversation, none of us know what we're talking about. Well, we could be talking about three different things at the same time.
Well, and include mine. The guy that I'm seeing, my Phil, has it really bad too. So then there's 4 conversations going on and nobody has any idea what anybody is talking about.
Nope. Or 2 people will be having a conversation and then the other 2 people are having a conversation. Then somebody goes, what did you just say? What? Oh, were you talking? Oh my God. Yeah, I think we all have 80. I'm
ADHD.
pretty sure we all have
Yeah,
some kind
we
of
got
it because
something.
we just all have the very prominent
Yes, we
squirrel
do.
reaction to just about
Yes,
everything.
we do.
So, if you want to know more about Glore, there is a blog on our investigation blog. There is a whole thing that we did with Glore when we were with Tina and Marcus when we were there. Or go on the St. Joseph Museum website. They've got a lot of information on there. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. I won't spoil it because we'll probably post pictures of it later, but there's a very famous picture that has been taken there of 1,400 and some odd items that were removed from a patient's stomach.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You have to go on there and look at the picture to see what they are. I'm not going to tell you.
Yep.
It's entertaining,
It's
to say the least. So we will definitely go live, and we might do something before then. We've got a couple of weeks. We got one weekend to kill before that. So if we could, if we could get this weather to freaking cooperate in this state, we'll have days Tuesday through Thursday. It's like 70, 80, almost 90. It's windy as shit, but at least it's sunny out. And then the weekend, it's 40, 50 degrees and raining.
Yeah.
So we haven't done
Welcome
much.
to South Dakota.
There's love to go back to Gitche. Yes. We'd love to go back there, but it's it's kind of miserable when it's really hot because you get absolutely eaten alive by mosquitoes. It is the most, oh my God, the mosquitoes. So it's like you have to find the right time when it's not mosquito infested and it's not like damp and wet because then it's mosquito infested. So if you see us filming and we're both in like beekeeper outfits, it's because we've been inundated by mosquitoes somewhere. It was awful. Oh, I can still hear them. Buzz, 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 buzz. Yeah, they were bad. But, we're working on a couple things. Let's see, what else have we got coming up soon-ish? I know we've got Malvern coming up again. We've been talking about going out to the Leduc Mansion in Minnesota, so we'll probably look at doing something like that pretty soon. Go back out to Gitche. If you like to go back to the Old Town Dinner Theater, we are going there to go take in a dinner theater. We're going to have dinner and we're going to watch Murdered to Death. So if you don't have anything to do coming up, I think until mid-June, I think it runs. Tickets are on sale. They're selling out very fast, especially on the weekends. You can usually get like the Wednesday, Thursday tickets, but Friday, Saturdays, they're gone. And not expensive. It's a great little time. They have a huge commercial kitchen in that place that about blew me away. So make a good meal, have a drink or two, watch a cool play, and I didn't put it on the post on our Facebook page. I was going to put P.S. It might also be haunted, but I thought, I won't do that to people because then some people might not go.
If you,
but it is haunted.
It is.
Yeah, we've.
And if you walk past the bar, make sure you say hi to Mindy.
Oh yes, got to say hi to Mindy the doll. Mm-hmm. She's sitting on the bar with a cat ball, and all the crew there have stories already about her. So it's a fun place, right in the middle of Worthing, South Dakota. My God, you wouldn't think that the mob influence and everything in that little town, it's just crazy. We'll have to do a deep dive into that on one of these discussions about the mob in South Dakota. Maybe we should do that if we go back out to Deadwood.
There's actually a lot of mob history in South Dakota that I don't think people realize exists.
Yeah. It was right here in Sioux Falls. Well, if anybody's a fan of the TV show Fargo, they like one whole season was about Sioux Falls and the mob. So take that. I mean, it's of course, given some creative liberties, but because it's a TV show, but it's based in some truth. Yeah. So it was. The mob was everywhere. I mean, shoot. I'm from Indiana, and guess what? Mm-hmm. There was a lot. So, it's an interesting backstory to some things and creates some really interesting experiences and hauntings and things like that to deal with those kind of
I
people.
have ties to the mafia in New York. Oh, my lights just went off.
What?
My plant lights just went off. And now it's spooky.
Now you've got the spooky look. I guess that's a sign. Are the spirits in your house telling you to shut up and go to bed?
Like, shut up, we're tired.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, we've rambled enough, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, we will try to maybe go live or do a little thing maybe this coming weekend if we can, and just to say howdy. And then when we're done with Glore, we'll fill you all in.
Sure will.
Let you know what happens. Hopefully we get some fun evidence, and we get Phil too, as we call him, to film some stuff for us and share that with us, and we'll put it out there because Lord knows we are horrible about filming or taking pictures.
Sure we
still
suck at
to this day we are not great.
No.
So still not. I mean, even at an event like we were at on Saturday, awful.
Yep.
Awful. All those pictures that you see of us with people, it's other people took them. We didn't take them. We didn't even get a picture of Sam and Casey with us.
Oh God.
Whatever. We were just having too much fun.
We were.
And I mean, and that's part of it. You get immersed in the experience and you just forget. I mean, how many times have we said, "Oh, we should have been filming that," or "Oh, we should have taken a picture of that."
Yep.
Moments passed, and let me tell you what, in the paranormal, there's a scene in Poltergeist that I absolutely love, and it's where something happens at their kitchen table, and it's the first time the paranormal investigators are there, and it's where the stuff comes through the ceiling and it's lighting up and everything, and one of the guys grabs his camera and he starts taking pictures. And he realizes number one, he was late to pull his camera up, and number two, he still has a lens cap on.
God.
And Jo Beth Williams looks at him and she goes, "You got to be quicker than that around this place." And that's the paranormal all in just a little tied up bow.
Yep.
You got to be quicker than that.
Sure is.
And you got to sit here for 7 hours if you want one little tiny thing to happen. So that's what we do.
Yep.
Why we like it, I have no idea. Why we like sitting in the dark, I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know either. All right. Everybody have a great week coming up. Stay spooky. Be kind. Remember, everybody's fighting a battle you don't know, so choose to be the good person and have fun. Go watch a scary movie or 2 or 3.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
See you guys.